shit, nobody's taking care of this. I'm right here. I better see if this person is okay.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember I used to be the guy who, like, if there was a cause I cared about, I would donate money to it. I would volunteer. I would march in the street and protest. And I call it, and it didn't work. I gave up too easy.
I have my main disconnect, I think, is that, and this is my problem, generally speaking, with either extreme, whether it's political parties or whether it's religious doctrine or atheism or carnivores and vegans. I have this there, to me there is a gray area. There's always something in between. Neither extreme can ever be fully correct, and I don't want to be preached to about somebody's point of view. I want to be left to make my own choices and decisions on things. I don't want also somebody telling me that I'm wrong because I don't subscribe to their belief system one way or another. And I fall on I'm perfectly fine with somebody being an atheist or a Christian or a practicing Christian or practicing Jew or whatever. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. I'm not going to stand there and try to convince them that their way of thinking is wrong.
Mm-hmm. My philosophy is, if it doesn't hurt me, then I don't care.
But the problem that we run into with this, is that I think that this mentality, unfortunately, is what leads to Nazi Germany. You know, if there's enough apathy, if there's enough looking the other way, if there's enough, this is what allows for the current presidency as well.
Mm-hmm, yes,
is that there is enough of a it seeps in.
It's not me.
No.
Yeah.
So back to your question. Your original question was my moral failing. It would be two things. One, I voted for Nader.
You best.
And two, I did listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay. So immediately
I'm out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're the bridge man. I'm sorry. I won't apologize. I won't apologize.
See, now I never had any expectations of of achieving a good place. Mm-hmm. So,
No, I'm firmly in the camp of I think that when we're done, we're done.
Yeah, I'm not force-set my way through this.
So I'm curious, though.
No. I meant morally. I never expected, as a hedonist, I never expected aspirations. If there is a good and bad, I just assume I'm on the dark side.
So I'm curious about your point of view as an atheist.
Okay.
On this show and what the fact that there is this good place and this bad place.
Sure. About how I can accept the construct for the sake of humor in the course of a television show, or do I believe in the possibility? Because I don't know. As an atheist, I have to say, being without a deity or without a god or without a construct of this is necessarily what happens, I have to say that I am very science fiction. Mm-hmm. So where religion failed me, Frank Herbert took up, and others as well. So let's say I'm open to the possibility, that there may be a continuation of consciousness or some sort of
a singularity theory,
or a multiverse, or who even knows? All I know is that I am open to the possibility that the abyss is not quite an abyss.
I have problems with that. Even though I don't consider myself an atheist, but I have a real problem with, I think that there are some things that are unknowable. I think that there are some unexplainable things, and that's just the way it is. And it's that as soon as you can kind of let that idea into your head, at least for me, it was much easier to get along.
Okay, so Maimonides presented this idea, negative theology. You can't say what God is, you can only say what it isn't. Because you can't know it. It's totally unknowable.
Sure.
So rather than being like, oh, well, this is, what waits for us in the afterlife, or this is what God is like, or anything like that. You can't say that. You can only say what it isn't. I know God is not a book.
Sure.
Or a place. I know heaven is not, you can say what things are not, but you can't really, express what it is because it is unknowable. And so all we can do is speculate.
Sure. It's interesting. I keep saying I always find one phrase that I just keep repeating throughout a podcast. It happens invariably. And sometimes it's invariably. But as I get older, it appears to be the one for this. As I get older, I find that I envy people a little bit who are able to have faith in something. That I think that there must be some sort of comfort in it. And I just am never able to cross that bridge. There have actually been times more and more frequently since I hit my mid-30s where I'm like, I kind of actually enjoyed some of the ritual of Judaism growing up. I didn't recognize that I enjoyed it, but now as a 36-year-old, I'm like, there's some of that I kind of miss, and I think that possibly some of that is because of some OCD tendencies, but I still don't believe in the religiosity of it. I don't believe in the theism necessarily, but I do. There's something about the act or the of like saying a Shabbat prayer, or saying talking about the history of the Maccabees or something when I was a kid.
Sure.
There's some of that stuff that I find myself being more and more interested in, but also still being like, nah.
See, I'm an atheist who celebrates everything. I'll celebrate absolutely anything. Christmas, Hanukkah, Tuesday, whatever it is, we're pulling out flags, whatever we're doing, I'm into it because I believe, humans, especially in the shape of the year, there should be ritual to mark occasions, to pass the passage of seasons, the start of New Year's, birthdays. Everything should be celebrated.
Sure.
Life is dismal enough. Let's ritualize things. Let's celebrate things. Let's mark movement of time in the passage of life. So I'm a huge fan of rituals. So I've been in, for an atheist, for somebody who is not anchored to one particular faith, because I have participated in some weird off the wall, things to. It's fun. I think there should be a strong element. I think a strong element of ritual is, it can be important in life, in structuring life.
And as someone like you, so as I'm sure we've talked about many times on the podcast, I grew up Mormon. And when I moved out of the house and learned the things on my own, I definitely disagree with a lot of aspects of it. Its ability to not include people and groups and things of that nature. And as before my mom passed away, I really didn't have much of a belief in it anymore. And I think you were talking about how you find some comfort in religions. Well, my mom passed away. I didn't want her to think that, she just ended. So I really fell back into it hard. And then I married my first wife. I divorced and remarried my current wife. And when I found out when things weren't
I think that's something that you have to watch out, that whole my current wife thing.
Yeah.
That's you may just want to my wife.
And Kristen thanks you for
current
that.
implies that, yeah.
So my ex-wife, when things were starting not to work out so well with my ex-wife and I, we were having problems having kids in a religion that like is about family.
Sure.
Like I didn't feel comfort. I felt challenged, and I felt myself pushing myself away from that religion again. So the comfort that I once felt there, I wasn't feeling anymore, and I started pushing myself away again. I feel like I'm kind of maybe somewhere in the middle, where I think agnostic is maybe the way.
Sure.
Where I feel like there has to be something, because there are moments where I do feel spiritual and then comfort, and I can't explain why, other than my brain chemistry. Maybe the medication's kicking in or something, or joking.
You know, there's something also though, and this is probably where my love of science fiction comes from, is that when I was pretty young, my grandfather would have discussions with me about, one in particular that's always stuck with me was that he was like, we could, who knows what existence is? Who knows if this is all that's out there? We could be all living inside a small like microcosm that's underneath the thumbnail of some larger being.
Sure, the fishbowl theory.
Sure,
we don't see the fishbowl.
Yeah,
we could
exactly.
be hooked up to wires and living a simulation.
Yeah,
it's pretty strange. I came down here to talk about The Good Place and fun, exciting comedies, and for The Mortician's Daughter, I thought we would be like this would be a different theme for me. But I don't know if it's just because I'm in the room that it always circles back to death. Or
some of our conversations just do this.
I mean, the show is basically anchored
Again,
in death.
I did mention that I was raised Jewish, right? Death is heavy in my yeah.
And I'm someone who just waits for something bad to happen anyway. So I mean,
wow, guys.
I was raised by 2 Catholics, so.
Now, all right, we've been talking for about an hour, and there are some things that I want to get to, and I want to not have one of our marathon 2-hour episodes. So, and our cat Susu just headbutted my foot, so that also should say I think she's telling us to hurry up. But I'm curious, as our inaugural between seasons guest.
Yes.
So no pressure, but this is kind of like the sort of format, genesis, if you will, of what my idea was for doing a hiatus episode, so we can kind of take a little bit of a break between seasons.
I'm excited to be a part of it.
I'm curious, as somebody who has watched The Good Place, and I think you've listened to our show at least on occasion. What do you, as somebody who watches the show and then has listened to our commentary on it, or lack thereof, like what are your overall, and please pull no punches, don't worry about hurt feelings. I do tend to cry a little bit.
Feedback live right now?
You know what? I am, because I also believe in honesty in podcasting. I'm just,
to be honest, I feel a little cornered here.
If you want to phrase it as, what do you wish we would do a little more or a little less, or do we,
I have a reputation for being cruelly honest.
You know what?
And then you invite.
I'll tell you right now, I
you?
can't take it, but I would. I invited it, and I'm just curious.
Here's the thing I need to start with.
Okay.
This is the first time that I've listened to a show based on a show. Like a lot of the podcasts that I listen to, limited engagement, other shows that I've listened to, they're more interview based, they're more conversational. Sometimes they're, tutorials, but a lot of different things. This is the first time where I'm kind of listening to a show based on a show. So I feel like we're having a water cooler conversation about The Good Place. Yes. One of my favorite shows. So I get to watch the show, and then we kind of talk about the episode, except I can't interject, which is really kind of frustrating for me. So first I would like to say that not being able to interject my thoughts is a problem.
Okay.
But
so we need to go interactive. Write that down, Jason.
If you could find a way to make this like a live,
there's a website. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Twitter.
Yes. I know. Yeah. So interacting that way.
People like talk for free